So the crypto market is bouncing back very quickly, and in yesterday's video called Russia Going All In on Crypto Now, I had said how the best time to buy was at peak fear and how we saw massive amounts of fear across the entire market. Talked about buying Cardano and Polygon and Ethereum, and all of these coins are up a minimum 20% from where I talked about them in yesterday's video. And today we're seeing a lot of great news coming out of the crypto market that we gotta talk about with Bitcoin, with Cardano, with Charles Hoskinson, because they are doing exactly what we had talked about in yesterday's video. So let's talk about it. Right now, Bitcoin's price is looking much more bullish than it has over the last couple of weeks. In terms of technicals, Bitcoin right now has bounced off of a couple of key supports. The first of which is right at that $36,000 per coin range. We closed above this range, which was very important. We had said that it was going to be very important to see a daily close above this in order to maintain the bullish outlook, and that is exactly what we saw. Second thing in terms of technicals is going to be that we bounced off of that $34,500 per coin level during max fear, peak fear in the market, when all of the news is coming out from Russia and Ukraine. The important thing here is that we wicked down to this price, but we never broke below it, and this was a very key support for Bitcoin over the last 12 to 18 months. This has acted as a very key level. Third thing that we're seeing right now is that Bitcoin's price is also breaking above a key range, which is right in between that $38,000 per coin and that $39,000 per coin range. That has acted as a very key level, acted as a very strong support and resistance over the last 2 to 3 months. So now that we're seeing Bitcoin's price getting above that, it's going to be very important to see Bitcoin close the day above that range. If we see a daily close above that range, we very well could have already seen the bottom in the market, and we are on our way to reach new record highs. So we're going to have to wait and see, can we close above that? That is going to be very important. Next thing I want to talk about before we get into Cardano is going to be with Bitcoin and crypto donations for Ukraine. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen a massive amount of donations from Bitcoin and crypto to Ukraine, and we've seen that they have surpassed $4 million. $3 million of this has come from one donor in particular, but we have seen the amount skyrocket really over the last 24 to 48 hours. You could track this live on Elliptic. They're showing you exactly how much has been donated, what are the main sites, and if you're interested in donating, you're interested in being part of this and supporting everyone who's struggling there right now, you can. There's a number of sites that you could do it from. They show you some of the main ones where you can. Like one of them is called Come Back Alive, and this just takes its name from the inscriptions on the bulletproof vest that were the first donations to the army. So you can check that out, but I think it's very important to see that we're seeing a lot of support and that Bitcoin and crypto is playing a big role in one of the biggest things happening in the world right now. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be what's going on with Cardano, because Charles Hoskinson came out, talked a lot about Cardano in a recent surprise AMA. And in this surprise AMA, he had said that right now, don't worry about movements, day-to-day fluctuations. He said the important thing right now is going to be looking for projects that have long-term adoption, not what's going to have like tens of millions of users, but what is going to have billions of users. What projects have real use, real utility, and real purpose 5-10 years from now. And he talks about how Cardano is going to be that project. And obviously he's saying this, he's the founder of Cardano. I'm very bullish on Cardano. But what he said, he goes a little bit more into detail, and he talks about all of the instability in the world right now. And he said that right now we're seeing all of this instability in the stock market, with inflation, with wars going on. And he said, you would think that crypto would be a safe haven. A lot of people would pour money into crypto, but we're seeing the exact opposite happen. He says it makes no sense at all, because if we're going to war, we're worried about inflation and chaos and tragedy. You would think that people would want to invest in crypto, that crypto would be a safe haven. But he said that's not happening right now. However, since he last spoke about this, it looks like the tides are turning a bit. It looks like people are starting to pour money into crypto. They see the utility for it. They see the use for it. And especially with all of this instability in the world right now, it looks like a lot of retail investors and institutions are starting to warm up a little bit more to the idea of crypto, as we have seen crypto bounce back faster than any other financial market in the world over the last 24 to 48 hours. Everything else is still taking a very big hit, but crypto is bouncing back now. now, with many coins up 10 to 30% in the last 24 hours. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be what is going on with on-chain analytics for Cardano. What we're seeing right now is that regardless of price action for Cardano right now, which hasn't been too great, we have seen Cardano's price fall. The good news right now is that the balance held by holders that have been holding Cardano for more than a year is at a multi-year high. And these holders increased their positions to 10.12 billion ADA, which is the largest the balance has ever been since December 11th, 2019. So when you look at this chart right here, you can clearly see that regardless of the price, we're seeing people who have held Cardano long-term are doubling down. People who are gotten into Cardano in the last year are continuing to hold. And yes, there are some short-term holders selling. Obviously, we're seeing the price fall. But the bottom line is the people who are invested and believe in Cardano are continuing to believe in it and really are doubling down long term. So if you're looking at on-chain analytics right now, things look good for Cardano. Yes, price has fallen, but in terms of adoption, transaction volume, how much people are actually using it and holding it, all of those numbers are getting better. It's just going to be a matter of time before we see Cardano's price really reflect that and continue to rally. Moving on, let's talk about what has been going on with some Cardano projects, because over the last couple of weeks, we have talked about a number of Cardano DEXs, between ADAX to Sunday Swap to a number of them. And recently, another one has been launching, and they are actually bootstrapping their launch. And the name of this DEX is MinSwap. MinSwap is a community-focused DEX built on the Cardano blockchain. And again, it's not important exactly what they're doing or how they're launching, how they're bootstrapping their launch, which you could read. I'll put the article down below. The important thing here is that we're seeing dozens of projects launch every single day on Cardano, or at least being developed on Cardano. We're seeing so much more interest from the developer community on building on Cardano's ecosystem, and this is something that you want to see as a Cardano holder. Yes, prices have not looked good as of recently, but again, all of this is going to be like a snowball effect. We're seeing more adoption, more use, more dApps being built. All of that is only going to create massive price movements long term. We're going to see all of this be reflected, if not now, if not a month from now, long term. This is all going to have huge impacts on Cardano's price. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be a Cardano, basically media launchpad. This company is looking at, it's called Flicto. It's a UK-based startup built on the Cardano blockchain, and you can see that when you look at their white paper, it's a Cardano-powered community media launchpad. There are millions of artistic creators, they say, around the globe just waiting to produce the next YouTube hit, really make some sort of video or some piece of content, but they don't have the funds and financing to do that. So this company is being built on the Cardano blockchain, and they are looking at helping give the community a say in what is going to be the next big media hit. And I think this is a great idea. Obviously, this isn't sponsored. This is just another topic I wanted to talk about because it's being built on the Cardano blockchain. I don't care if this company succeeds. I don't care if another one succeeds. The bottom line is more adoption is better for Cardano's growth, and more projects on the ecosystem only is going to help. This is going to be reflected in Cardano's price eventually. Yes, prices have not looked good, and I get it. I am not immune to that. I'm not numb to that. Prices have dropped, but all of this, I look at long-term mass adoption, exactly like Charles Hoskinson said at the beginning of the video. That is what I look at. Last thing I want to talk about is going to be what has been going on with Charles Hoskinson on Twitter. Recently, he came out, he spoke a lot about what is going on with Ukraine and all of that, and we briefly touched on it at the beginning of the video. But the important thing right now is that Cardano, in my opinion, is set up to be one of the biggest players long-term, as we can see in some of these surveys that have come out recently, saying that Cardano can reach $58 per coin in 2030. All of this shows me right now that Cardano is in a good place, even if the price has fallen before key support levels such as $1 per coin. It's in a good place, and just keep an eye out on Cardano, overall crypto market, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter because I post a lot of content there before I ever talk about it on YouTube, so you don't want to miss out. The other day I posted how I was buying Cardano and Chainlink and Luna, and all of these are up 15 to 30% from where we talked about it on Twitter. So make sure you follow me there if you don't already. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.